Morning from Pastor Van. In this short clip, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu reiterates and reminds you of what Biafrans achieved during this 1967 to 1970 Biafran war. What nobody in this life has ever done. Watch this, share it, and make it go viral. Van.
Not even the immortalized 300 of Sparta were able to do what we did between 60s, or what our fathers did between 67 and 1970. I want to put it into context so you understand. Biafra War was the Third World War, unofficial Third World War. It was the only time that a capitalist power in United Kingdom, Britain, and a communist power in USSR came together in order to kill and stifle the hopes and aspirations of a very tiny country called Biafra in West Africa. For the very first time in the history of man till this very day. Because capitalism and communism is like oil and water. They never converged. Ask yourself this question, even at the height of the Cold War, when the arms race was in full gear, nuclear weapons being developed, hydrogen bombs being built, mutually assured destruction guaranteed by the array of arsenals in the possession of these superpowers. Then Britain and Russia, they put all their differences aside. Britain announced that there will be an arms embargo on both sides, on the part of Gowon and on the part of our eternal leader, Ojukwu, in Biafra. Now, the same Britain, the same British government went behind everybody's back, went to Russia. No longer Cold War, they're no longer fighting, no ideological differences between communism and capitalism. They now came together. Britain convinced Russia, the same thing they did to Trump when Trump was in power. Britain convinced Russia to join them. Britain did not ship arms direct. Of course, they later did. Britain never shipped arms direct to go on. Instead, they told Russia, we will give you part of the oil, but please ship arms to go on. Russia supplied all the MiG fighters, all the heavy weapons to Nigeria. Nigeria did not make anything. At the same time, the same thing they're doing today, the same thing that U.S. ambassador is telling you that America is now patrolling the maritime, they will not patrol the Sahel, the desert, where Fulani terrorists are operating. No, they will not do it. They are in the sea, in Biafra land, in the Atlantic Ocean. The same thing they did then, they are trying to do now, to enforce air, land, and sea blockade. Biafra was blockaded. Unfortunately, some Yoruba people went with them. You know me, I speak the truth. I don't care. I tell you the truth always. Some Yoruba people were convinced into going with Fulani to kill as many Biafrans as possible. Or should I say, to kill as many Igbo people as possible. Understand this. Britain did not stop there. Britain went to OAU then, now AU, and convinced most of them that artificial colonial boundaries must exist. Are you following what I'm telling you this morning? Britain convinced African people that the boundaries that they themselves, white Europeans, created in Africa must be defended at all costs. On the floor of the chamber of OAU in Addis Ababa, they were debating it. That what Ojukwu was fighting for is a return to the traditional way that black African people lived before the white man came. That is right. Julius Nyerere said that Ojukwu was right. Huford Burner said Ojukwu was right. Omar Bongo said Ojukwu was right. The rest said no, he's not right. We must keep the artificial colonial boundaries of our colonial masters. Now you're following. Somebody's in Croatia. Our sister Ruth Okore is in Croatia. We're everywhere. That's where she's listening to us from. Black people in Africa were against Biafra. for no discernible reason. There is no justification for being against Biafra. We wanted to go back to who we were before the white man came. That's all. They said no. They went to Egypt and they brought pilots from Egypt to pilot the MiG bombers and fighter planes that Nigeria was using. No Janjaweed could fly an aeroplane then. None. But in all of these things, we built our own aircraft. We built our own armored personnel carriers in Biafra land. We refined our own fuel. Something we did between 67 and 70, Nigeria cannot do today, even with their state-of-the-art refineries everywhere. We refined our own fuel. The more we became ingenious, the more technologically advanced Biafra was able to prove to the whole world, the more they despised and hated us.